should now have an idea that contains some kind of meaning that will solve a problem for a defined segment of customers, and you have a basic plan for how to go about this. In keeping with our juggling metaphor, you should keep all of these in mind when we talk about marketing and selling. You probably know a bit about marketing, and you may even have taken a course in marketing, and you've almost certainly been subject to some form of marketing over your lifetime. And you can even probably tell the difference between effective marketing and poor marketing, although you may not be able to explain exactly what the difference is. Once you've developed a product or service, it's time for commercialization. And that's when you need to start to think about effective ways to market and sell. A good starting point could be to think about the 4 P's of marketing. The first one is product, which means having a product or service that actually fulfills a need. Then you need to set an appropriate price. And then you need to position your product or service in a place where customers are likely to buy it. And finally, you need to promote your product or service effectively. Once you've answered these questions, it's time to turn to the core question of marketing. This question used to be about how to help sellers to sell, but it's increasingly morphing into being a question about how to help buyers to buy. Why this change? Well, this is one of those trends that you need to keep your eye on. Customers have become increasingly empowered in the online world. Customers demand information, lots of it, and they want to have access to it 24/7. Customers are able to share their experiences of products or services with others online, and it's becoming increasingly difficult for businesses to make empty claims when customers are talking to each other instead of just seeing or hearing advertising. Let's turn once again to Amazon for an example. About 20 years ago, Amazon started offering its customers to write reviews about the products they bought. People thought Amazon was crazy to do this, but in fact, research has shown that online reviews are the second most trusted source of information about a brand's reliability. What's the most trusted source? Friends and family. Of course, online reviews are not without their problems. First of all, when someone has bought something, they're more likely to give it a positive review. This has a formal name. It's called confirmation bias. It's just how humans act. The second problem is that some customers might blur the boundary between their satisfaction with the product and their satisfaction with the delivery process. Oddly, a product with only negative reviews sells better than a product with no reviews. Apparently, no one wants to buy what no one else has bought. So how can we help buyers to buy? In doing that, we need to keep in mind 4 areas of customer demands. In the first place, people want to be able to buy and use your product or service whenever or wherever it suits them. Secondly, people want the information that you provide as part of your marketing to actually add both value and meaning to your product or service. Thirdly, people want your product or service to be personalized to their specific needs and wants. And finally, people want it to be easy to both buy and use your product or service, so don't put them off by making it unnecessarily complicated. These 4 sets of demands call for the smart use of consumer experiences, social media, and big data. We've already talked about the importance of customer experiences. Remember, the meaning. What people say about your company, your brand, your product, your service on social media is likely to hold much more sway than what you say about these things yourself. So, let's find out a little bit about the use of social media in innovation.
Social media has become part of everyday life for millions of people. Businesses are eager to find ways to leverage social media in the innovation process, but they are not sure how to go about this. Meet Stephanie. She's in charge of the innovation process in her company. The company has a great idea for a new product, and Stephanie is trying to figure out how social media could be used in the different phases of the process. So she decides to go talk to her colleagues to learn from their experiences. Hey Jeremy, I'm starting a new innovation project and I heard you tried using social media for doing market research. Could you tell me about it?
I sure did. And I had high hopes. I spent a whole lot of time and effort creating surveys to post on social media, and I even tried creating a virtual focus group.
Wow, that's impressive.
Then I hired a numbers guru to analyze a whole bunch of data from social media to try and figure out what customers want. In the end, all we got was reduced profits. It was a disaster.
Hi Viola, I've heard rumors that you've been involving users in developing new products through social media. I'm planning on using co-creation for my new project and I'd love to hear about your experience.
Well, it sorta worked. We did get some novel ideas, so we ended up with a more innovative product.
Well, that's great.
But unfortunately, there were no market or financial benefits, so we were probably doing something wrong. We're gonna rethink our strategy before we try this again.
Hello Toby, how's it going?
I'm swell.
I've been to see Jeremy and Viola and they've basically told me that their attempts to use social media haven't been all that successful. Have you used social media around launching new products?
I sure have, and I will definitely keep doing so.
I'm glad there's finally some good news.
By using social media around the launch of our latest product, we managed to create a strong buzz and lots of positive word of mouth. Before we knew it, there were entire online communities talking about our product. It was an all-around success.
Thank you, Toby. I will focus on using social media for the launch then. Our research has shown that the benefits that companies hope to gain from using social media for innovation are mostly not being realized. It seems clear that companies need to think carefully about the strategies they use for leveraging social media. They can't just take what worked before and copy it as is to social media.
Partly connected to social media is the concept of big data. There are a lot of data out there. There are structured data, such as what retailers and airlines collect about their loyalty card customers and their behavior. And then there are unstructured data, such as all the reviews written about a particular product on social media. The rise in big data has led to a sharp increase in the demand for sophisticated data analytics, so there's definitely an opportunity there. But setting that aside, you should definitely trawl social media to gain insights into what people are saying about your products and services and those of competitors. To understand consumer behavior, it's very important to understand their decision-making process. First, the customer recognizes a problem or need, something as simple as, I need new tires for my car. Next, the customer searches for information about tires, about safety, about local tire dealers, and about any sales going on. Next, the customer goes out and visits a few tire dealers, perhaps talks with salespersons, and the customer may also ask friends and relatives what tires they have under their cars. Finally, the customer makes a decision for a specific brand and model of tires and a place to buy them. The tires get installed, and then the customer starts evaluating them. What does it feel like to drive on the new tires? At first, the customer may even experience some level of post-purchase doubt, which is quite common. The customer's evaluation goes on over a long period of time, until the tires wear out and a new need for tires arises.